Hello, music lovers. You found us once again. It's the RUSS TOLMAN Good Time Hour. And tonight is a very special one, a television special. And what I mean by that is the band television. And we have as our very special guest, television's guitarist, Richard Lloyd. And that's coming up later. But television is a band that I discovered in 1977. In the winter, I was doing a 2 to 6 in the morning neophyte DJ shift there at KDVS Davis and looking for the next record to play, and frankly going through the bins and saw an interesting looking record, and I threw it on and auditioned it and said, wow, those guitars sound cool, that vocal is weird. And that has started a dang near 50-year love affair with the band, and a lot of interaction with the individual members over the year, and we'll go into that probably in a little more detail. But right now, this is television live at the Old Waldorf in San Francisco from 1978.
Richard said, hey man, let's dress up like cops, see what we can get away with. Something. Said, hey, you better not. I felt to feel low. Nah, stood up, oh, come on. hesitating.
That is a track that changes lives. It changed mine for sure. I would not be who I am if it wasn't for the band Television and getting to meet and work with both Tom Verlaine and Richard Lloyd. And I've also met the drummer, Billy Ficca, but have not yet to meet Fred Smith. Oh, well. So we got a very short time today, and we got Richard Lloyd coming up right about now. Hey, everybody. We're welcoming to the program Richard Lloyd. Hello, Richard. How are you today?
Hi, Russ. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm really sorry that I missed your show out here in LA over this past weekend. You were playing actually a couple shows, the Wild Honey Backyard Show, and then the tribute to Matthew Sweet, or the money raiser for Matthew. Yeah, tell us more about it.
Well, I heard that Matthew had a stroke, and he had a GoFundMe, and I put some money in the GoFundMe. But then I got a call about would I be interested in coming out to LA and doing and participating in a benefit for him, and I said sure, of course. And so it was very fortunate because I'd just come off the road. I'd been on the road for a month of October and did like 24 dates in 30 days or even more. Anyway, but I came home and this call was just about waiting for me. So I said yes, and they had a travel agent put me on a flight, and I took my guitar and I went out there and did these two shows. They couldn't bring my band I'm working as a trio, so there's two other guys, but they couldn't afford to bring them all on airfare and all that.
Right.
So I ended up playing with two guys from the Wild Honey, and they turned out to be fabulous, and they learned my entire set in like a week on their own with no input from me. That's
awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was quite fantastic.
Yeah, I heard folks raving about the show, and that made me feel even worse about not being able to come.
You should feel suicidal.
I'm on the verge. I'm hoping you'll talk me down, Richard.
Talk you down. That's right. I'll get you off the bridge.
Yeah, I'm teetering on the edge.
No, it's a long way down. You don't want to go that way.
Nah, I don't think so. Too much to live for. I got so many questions for you. So, what was your last album?
Oh, I did a record for Plowboy out of Nashville.
Okay.
I had a co-producer who hired the people that played with me, and we made a record of my songs. I don't particularly think it's my best record by any means, but there it is. It's called The Countdown. And right, and you can find it. I don't know where. I had a bunch on tour, selling along with other merchandise. But
right. Well, I'll look for it. I was involved in the distribution of one of your records called The Cover Doesn't Matter back in the early 2000s.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. That's a good record, and we managed to ship a whole bunch of them, and then unfortunately they didn't sell through as well as everyone would have liked, and so yeah, there were a bit of returns. So the only time that we've actually met in person was in Chicago. I'd come out. You were playing with Steve Wynn, and I brought some CDs. I'm not sure if they were Steve's or yours. And then we ended up going to dinner at a Mexican restaurant afterwards.
Yeah, I think it was probably Steve's things because I can't remember you bringing me anything.
Yeah, it was Steve's, I guess. And I actually, as I recall, left the hotel and got to the gig and realized, oh, I forgot the CDs. So I had to go back and get them. So what a dope. What a dope.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then I think I was your world's worst guitar student for 3 online Zoom lessons, or that was Skype in those days.
Yeah.
About the time you were moving to Nashville, and you told me.
I didn't move to Nashville. I moved to Chattanooga.
Oh, Chattanooga. Okay, Tennessee. Before you moved to Tennessee, yeah, there's some distance there. Yeah. So, we did. You were still in New York, and you showed me your sitar on
Right.
on Skype, and you told me that I need to learn some discipline, and I do. You're so right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So have you?
No, hell no. A little bit more maybe, but yeah.
I got a lazy streak in me too. Don't worry about it.
Well, I don't know. My friend John Clages, who used to play with you in the 80s, said that no matter what, you always had your nose in a music book learning something new.
Right. Okay. If he says so, I believe him.
Well, I mean, you must have put some serious study in over the years.
Some serious what?
Study?
Study, yeah.
Yeah, you know that word?
I heard about it.
Yeah. Here's an entirely different question. How the heck did you meet Jimi Hendrix?
I was in junior high school, I guess.
Wow.
And I went over to a friend's house after school, and we pooled our money, and we were going to buy some hash.
Okay.
We were waiting for it to be delivered, and the phone rang, and my friend Zeke, whose house it was, picked up the phone and then afterwards said, oh, this guy's coming over. He claims to know Hendrix, and I think we should all laugh at him because, how could he know Hendrix? That's insane. It's impossible. And I thought to myself, well, he's not from Mars. He must know somebody. Why not this kid,
Right.
Anyway, he came in. His name was Velvet Turner. And he did. Turns out he did know Hendrix quite well, actually. Jimmy taught him how to play guitar and considered him his little brother. He was like a mentor to him. Gotcha. And that's how. Then, since I was the only person that supported him against all this other teenage nonsense, he invited me to go to the show that was the same night. And that was my first experience of the experience.
Uh-huh. So what year was this?
68, August of 68.
So was this Fillmore East or?
No, this was the Singer Bowl.
I see.
You can look it up. I just found a video of the whole performance. It's really quite a remarkable one, but I remember it as a kind of looking inside of a nuclear reactor experience. Wow. It was quite mind-blowing.
Were you already playing guitar by this point?
I think I was trying to. I don't know if you could say I was playing guitar.
Right, but you'd picked it up and started.
I picked it up. I must have had one because Velvet would come over to my house and we would trade my guitar after school. Or after he visited Jimmy, he would come to my house because we lived really close to Jimmy's 12th Street apartment.
I see.
So he'd come show me the stuff that Jimmy was teaching him.
Ooh, secondhand Jimmy licks. Cool.
Secondhand by, yeah.
That's very cool. So I learned about all that from your very cool autobiography, Everything is Combustible, which I was looking for on the shelf the other day, and then I realized I think I sent it to my friend in New York. We kind of trade books back and forth, so I couldn't refer to it.
A small,
sort of like a book club, 2-person book club. Yeah, and another story in there is you were pretty good pals with Anita Pallenberg, right?
Oh, I loved her very much, and she loved me.
How did that come about?
I don't know. Somebody brought her down to see a television show, and we were introduced, and that was that. became really good friends. She would invite me to go visit her in different places. Like first it was I think the Carlisle Hotel in Manhattan. They had like an entire floor.
Wow.
Marlon Richards was about, he must have been 6 years of age then, Keith and Anita's son. And he would ride around on a tricycle in this giant hotel. It was much like The Shining. Red rum.
Cool.
Definitely.
Wow.
I saw her, not that long before she passed away. In London, she had a nice little place and a garden she was very into.
Sounds kind of bucolic and idyllic.
It was. It was very idyllic and bucolic, and we both survived.
Yeah.
Quite something, survived.
Yeah, you're a bit of a hellion. I'm sorry, you were a bit of a hellion.
I guess so. I had fun.
Oh, good. Good. And you're still around to tell us about it. That's the best part.
That's the best. Yeah, it is.
So speaking of television, I remember in the book that you and Terry York went out and saw Tom Verlaine playing someplace solo. Is that correct?
Right. Exactly. He was playing in a supper club.
Wow.
On audition night. And he had 10 minutes. And he played 3 songs. And in the second song, I turned to Terry and I said, forget about... Terry was going to put a band around me. And I said, well, get him and I together and you'll have what you're looking for. We can be the genesis of a band. And so that's what happened. That was television. Became television. Wow.
So Terry York is a very interesting character. And, I don't know a lot about him. I know about Ork Records and I know, a little bit about his involvement in early television. Tell me a little more about Terry.
Well, Marquee was dedicated to him, so that can't be bad. He was the patron of television and actually bought us some equipment and so we could rehearse. We rehearsed in his place, which was a loft in Chinatown, the size of a building back and forth.
Wow.
And we practiced in the living room. He brought his friends down, like Nicholas. We wanted quotes to put in a little ads in the paper. So he had Nicholas Ray, the director of Rebel Without a Cause.
Sure.
Got him down, and they all got pretty plastered and watched us play. And he gave us a quote: "Those are 4 cats with a passion." And we did. We had a passion for this thing that was happening between us, the 4 of us.
Right.
That time with Richard Hell, adding his bit of insanity to the mix.
Right. So you guys were the Neon Boys then, right?
No, we weren't anything. We weren't anything. The Neon Boys was the trio that had
I see.
a little record.
Right.
3 songs on it.
Yes,
One of
I remember
Tom's and 2 of Richard's, I believe.
So you're not on that record, right? Or are you?
On Neon Boys record? No.
Okay.
Not.
So okay. How did that come about without you?
I have no idea. It was like a year before we met.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
They'd been trying to fill the place of a second guitarist. And they weren't having any luck.
I get it now.
Dee Dee Ramone was one of the people who auditioned for them. And nobody worked out till I came along. And they wanted a rhythm guitar player, and I said, no, I'm a lead player, but I can play anything you need me to play. I can cover,
Right.
If you got a strange part or something you can't do yourself, or you wanted to have happen, I can do that easily. And the template for the band was basically that Tom played and sang, which meant that his playing had to be rhythmic. It couldn't be too convoluted, because then he couldn't sing against it.
Right.
I took leads on the verses and the choruses, and then when we got to the solos, we would flip back and forth, Tom, me, Tom, like that.
Gotcha.
And that was the template. So we were both soloists, but I was the lead guitarist, and nobody knew that. Everybody assumed all the fancy parts were were Tom.
Right. Yes, I got a little bit of that in my band, True West, where I got the credit for what Richard McGrath actually did. He did all the heavy lifting and great playing, and I was just kind of the bee that got under his bonnet and kind of motivated him to greatness.
That's nice. That's a good place to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel kind of bad about getting all the credit. I think back in the day,
you were the lead singer of it?
No, I was the songwriter and motivator and second guitarist. And we're very much licking up the pant leg of television, because you guys are one of our favorite bands of all time.
Uh-huh.
And still are.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, I never ever saw the real television. I only saw Tom's tribute band with Jimmy Rip, which was great. Rip had all your parts down pat.
Yeah, he had to play all my parts, and when
he was good.
He was okay.
Yeah, he was really good. I'd seen him a few times playing with Tom solo band shows, but with television, he had all your parts. He's talented. Some of those parts aren't easy.
I don't know about that. They come from a different place than ordinary guitar stuff.
Yeah, you play some interesting scales sometimes.
Right.
It ain't just the blues scale.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Well, I was influenced by classical music, jazz, and deep rock and roll and elemental blues, which is different than the standard blues. It's like the original guys.
Right.
I once got to play with John Lee Hooker.
Oh, wow.
I was called up on stage, and he gave me a solo, and I mustered my way through it with my knees clanking.
About what year was this?
Oh, 1970.
Okay, so before television, when you were just
Oh, yeah, way before television.
Yeah.
Years. It was in my adventuresome, hobo days.
Oh, you had hobo days.
Tramped around.
I see.
I was in Boston for a year, and I was in L.A. for two years, and then I came back to New York in 1973, and that's when we started television. It was at the September of that year.
I see. I'm trying to remember in your autobiography anything about your L.A. years. What did you do when you were out this way?
I fell in people's swimming pools and slept through an earthquake, and there were a lot of big record company parties at that era. So they were spending money hand over fist to entertain these bands. And so I was a roommate of Richard Cromlin, who was the staff writer for the L.A. Times.
Right.
So we got to go to a lot of insider shows and different events.
Sounds like good fun. Yeah.
It was.
I know I had a bunch of questions there, and all of a sudden,
now they're
maybe we should take a quick break and play a song. Is there anyone off the top of your head that you would like to hear?
Nah. No. See.
Okay.
I don't particularly listen to music as a rule. I stopped in like 78, 77, 78. Stopped listening to other people's stuff.
Well, I'm talking about your stuff.
Yeah, me too. I don't.
Oh, you just stop listening. You don't care. So we can just play anything right now.
You can play anything by anybody.
Okay. That sounds fabulous.
The solo in Ain't That Nothing.
Okay.
The
All
solo
right.
on that is based on me listening to a record a lot back then. Pablo Casals plays Bach unaccompanied on cello.
Oh, wow.
You can find a copy of it. It's fantastic.
So you stole the solo from that, or were inspired by that?
Inspired by that, definitely.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so put that on.
Pushing a furnace
So when are you back out on the road?
God knows, in springtime sometime.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I got my drummer has booked us, and he booked this October. We played almost every day of the month on the eastern part of the U.S. We went as far in as Pittsburgh and Ohio, but we didn't get to the West Coast at all. So that was a pleasurable thing to be invited to play on Matthew's benefit, to get me out to the West Coast. That's just a plus, you know?
Yeah. Have you played in McCabe's before?
No, never. Nice.
Yeah, it's a great, real interesting space with a big, long history.
Yeah.
I played there a couple times, but they changed booking agents, and now they don't want to hear from me anymore. So
Oh, dear.
that happens.
Yes, it does.
It does. So, any plans to record in the near future?
No, I got no plans at all. I live planless.
Okay. Well, at a certain age, the motivation and the drive kind of tempers itself, and it's not as urgent.
Like.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
Have you?
Yeah, sure. So you have a recording set up at home, right?
No, I did.
Oh, okay. In New York, you did.
In New York, I did, and then down here, I did. But
I see.
We were on a farm that had a big, outhouse.
A barn, perhaps?
Yeah, like a barn.
Yeah.
And we had musical equipment set up there. Then, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, we got a little house. And the house is so small that I couldn't set up any drums or anything. So
I see.
I like, recording with real things.
Sure.
I don't like one guy sitting alone with a machine. Although I have made records completely where everything is done by me. The drums, the bass, and the guitars and the vocals.
Right. That can be good, but there's nothing like the magic of people playing together in real time.
Yep, that's right. Although
things happen.
Some people can make it seem as though there are people playing together.
Sure.
But it's not tied to a click or a computer.
Yeah. There's just that magic that happens when it's like people, kind of enjoying each other and feeding off of each other.
That's right.
So what's in the works for Richard Lloyd coming up?
Just more touring, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know when or where, but if you get a chance to see us, please stop by.
I will. I need to get you out here to the West Coast again, and I would love to see you with band. It's been 20 some years since I saw you solo. You played this place in downtown LA about 5-6 years ago. I saw you then. I forget
with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't like those shows as much as playing the electric.
Yeah. It seems like you're not quite as comfortable doing that as you are,
exactly.
Burning up the fretboard.
Although I just got a little Martin travel guitar that's quite sweet.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, very nice. I got it for my birthday on the road.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. When is your birthday?
October 25.
Oh, that's the same as my mother.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Get your chores done. I want that room clean.
Okay. Thanks, Mom.
Eat your vegetables.
Yeah. She had no problem with me eating my vegetables. I actually love vegetables.
Oh, what's your
I'm
favorite
a freak.
vegetable?
Broccoli. Broccoli.
Me too. I like broccoli.
Yeah. There's something about it. Just something about it.
It's like brushes. It's like, a tree.
It is. I know. It's like a little tiny tree.
Yeah, eating a bunch of those is good for your intestines and everything else.
That's what I hear. Hopefully it is.
Scrapes the crap out of you.
That's right. Thank you. Richard Lloyd with bowel tips for everyone here on the RUSS TOLMAN Good Time Hour.
That's right.
Yeah. A clean colon is a good colon.
Yep. Well, I gotta go.
Okay, that's good. I think that's probably a great place to take this out.
A little shot of our togetherness.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Richard, so much for being on the program.
Love it.
And it was a great chat, and we'll catch you when you get out here to the West Coast.
Yeah. My autobiography sold out. Out, and now the soft cover sold out, and I got to work on getting a new printing.
Yes,
I can send you one so you have one that you don't have to send to your friends.
There we go. That would be great. That would be great.
We'll work it out.
Okay. Thanks, Richard.
All right. See you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you. That was Richard Lloyd of Television. Here on the RUSS TOLMAN Good Time Hour. And thank you so much to Richard for being on today's program. And here he is from his album, The Cover Doesn't Matter.
She closed her eyes and I kissed her. Her lips are taking me through the night. I whispered soft I would miss her, with the heartbreak dragging me down the line. Ooh, and then she pulled me closer, and in the dark it took me by surprise, when she told me that the road was open, and I could find her there anytime. Then I opened my eyes and she disappeared. And don't you think that that's strange? Strange, strange. If 1 minute she's flesh and blood here beside, and the next it's a dream. We don't lay claim to property, and don't talk much of pain or doubt. So when she told me love was in her heart, I'd know just what she's talking about. Ooh, and the restless get their share, and the lonely surely find their way. And she has a reckless innocence when she knows what's best, but not today. Then I opened my eyes and she disappeared. And don't you think that that's strange? Strange, strange. If 1 minute she's flesh and blood here beside, and the next is a dream. Is it just a midnight dream? I would fain prove otherwise. Is it just a midnight stream that runs so cold beneath these pitch black skies? To set the sails for shore, this journey's got to come to a close. And we've been standing there for some time now, with the gold